The DrDisRespect, Nickmercs and DrLupo storyline has not ended yet, because now that it's been kind of trending throughout the entirety of the internet, everybody reacted to it. So we're going to take a look at what DrDisRespect had to say, a little bit of it, because we already made a video on it, just recapping literally him roasting people for like 10 minutes. We're going to take a look at how people are reacting to this, because now the actual news pages are posting this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guide with many YouTube channels. So here is the initial post over from Dexterdo. You can find this on pretty well any popular news page, okay? Nickmercs is the biggest, in the world. Lupo, obviously, he's a fake. DrDisRespect called out two streamers, labeling them as rats for how they treated him amid his controversy. Now, I will show you a little bit of the video. We already made a deep dive into it, reacting to the entirety of the 10 minutes. So just to kind of give you the vibe of the things that he was saying, it was mostly like, oh my god, these people are so obsessed with me. Oh my god, get over it. Nothing was wrong. Stuff like that. That's kind of the energy, and I'll show you a little bit of it.
Biggest fucking pussy in the world. Lupo, obviously, he's a big ass. He's a fake. Let's go ahead and say it. Didn't talk about it before, but I'm in the mood now to talk about it. I think these fucking people are the phoniest people in the industry, man.
And it was a lot of just bland insults. He was making fun of, and I'm almost sure he made fun of people's appearances. Regardless, he was calling them things like obsessed. The internet was depressed. People are just looking to take him down. He was trying to make it like this big cancel thing. And what I had to say in my other video was essentially like, all of this is true. People are looking for the outrage of the day. People are all looking to cancel people. But where I'm hung up on is, it doesn't matter because you admitted to talking to a minor. That's the problem, right? So we do have a video reacting to the entirety of that if you guys are interested in looking at that. But today I wanted to focus on the internet's reaction to this, because this did hit the Explore page. There's a lot of news pages with people's replies. Let's take a look at what people had to say about this. I also posted this over on X. Gonna record a video about this tonight. If anyone has thoughts, I'll include some. Posting this yesterday. If you guys would like to join the conversation, we make videos like this all the time. You can follow me at Clen YouTube. You can find that link in the description down below, or the link tree, which is at the top of the description, or just search up at Clen YouTube, guys. Let's get into what everybody had to say about this. Dub had this to say. He can say anything he wants about any streamer he wants to, but it won't change the fact that he's a bad person who's associated with minors and cheated on his wife years ago, just trying to bring other people down at the same time while failing miserably. Yeah, that's another thing that people aren't talking about. Like, I get that mistakes are made, but I truly believe like no good person ever ends up cheating on the person that they're supposed to love. It's insane to me. And associated is a very, very light way to put whatever he was doing. And the other thing that I was just talking about, guys, is if there was nothing wrong with this, if it's really no big deal, like DrDisRespect said, then just show the messages. Obviously, he has them. Twisty Chase had this to say: just because you're friends with someone doesn't mean you overlook the bad things they do, especially in a situation like this where DrDisRespect was 1000% in the wrong. What he did was disgusting, and his friends had every right to distance themselves from him because of it. Excuse me. Yeah, my best friends in the world, and I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that my friends, I suspect of them doing anything wrong, but if any of my friends came out and said, yeah, I've exchanged inappropriate messages with a minor, I would be distancing myself from them, and I wouldn't give it a second thought. They have every right to distance themselves from you. And a lot of people have been talking about, too, like, well, they were really close. Like, he went over to Nickmercs' house. Like, yeah, I wouldn't want you around my kid. Like, it's insane to me that people are defending this type of behavior. It's Lethal TTV had this to say: imagine talking inappropriately with a minor, then getting mad at people who criticize you for it. What's the world gotten to? Think about that for a second, because the amount of people that are supporting DrDisRespect, and this isn't a like, oh, well, you have to take a look at this side. People are just trying to take him down. No, he admitted to having inappropriate messages with a minor. Like, that's not okay. And people need to be shamed for that. And it hurts me, because I've been watching DrDisRespect for years, man. I've been watching him for years as a fan of DrDisRespect. It sucks to see, but you have to change your tune. Why wouldn't you? But we live in this world where the most crazy things in society are accepted at this point, okay? It's crazy. Man admits to inappropriate conversations with minors and then attacks people for not wanting anything to do with a man who's talking inappropriately with minors. Makes sense. Yep. That's exactly what he's doing. And he's like, oh my god, these guys are so fake. They were my friends, this and that. Like, yeah, that all could be true. And they have every right to just take off out of your life. Watch it in its entirety in the section of the podcast, Bussin' with the Boys, where Nick was their guest and how Nick handled himself was objectively correct. No retelling history to suit his narrative, just stuck to the facts and presented them fairly. Doc's rant about Nick specifically is just wishy-washy, outright embarrassing to be frank. He was kind of just blanket statement making fun of Nick. Again, I watched the entire video as well. We have a video watching the entire video too. DrDisRespect had nothing for Nick, and Nick literally was objectively correct. I know that people will have a problem with that just because it's Nickmercs, but it doesn't change the fact that what he said was correct, okay? As ambiguous as the circumstances are around what Doc did or didn't say, the least thing that's phony is Nick. Doc will always keep punching upwards when Nick sticks to facts. Yeah, and there's nothing else that he could have said. Nick even talked about, like, yeah, I've had this person around my family. I've had a kid now. I have a wife. I don't want anybody who admitted to talking to minors around my family. Exactly, right? I wouldn't want anyone near my kid. I just had a daughter myself. I wouldn't want anybody, like, anybody who's like, yeah, I have exchanged messages with minors before. No big deal. Like, okay. Dylan had this to say: "This is just bitterness on DrDisRespect's behalf, all because streamers like Nickmercs and Lupo do not want to be associated with a known, it's kind of them just wanting nothing to do with him. Mind you, both Nickmercs and Lupo have children." Yeah, I didn't know about that about Lupo. I know, like, Lupo's a huge streamer. I've just never followed him myself, but yeah, like, your tune completely changes on this stuff too. Like, it didn't really change for me because I've always had this tune, but the amount of protective instincts that come in when you become a parent is just insane. I'm, like, constantly analyzing anybody in my life or is like that could be invited over to my house. It's crazy, the mindset shift that you have, but it's true. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but we didn't see the messages. DrDisRespect might have not done anything wrong. He admitted it because, like, people would take this and for a lot of people online, there's, like, a lot of rumors going around and people always try to cancel other people. Don't get me wrong, but it's different in this situation. I always feel like a broken record when we're talking about this. If it's no big deal, show the messages. Then everybody will just be off your back about it. PPG had this to say: "I mean, should we even listen to DrDisRespect? He's just mad these guys didn't lose their careers to defend him." It's not even about that. It's about him. It's about him messaging minors. Okay. Kylo Ron had this to say: "Nick had a reasonable approach to this whole issue. Might not be illegal according to the courts, but it's still creepy." I'm with Nick on this one, and I was a big fan of Doc before all that. I was a big fan of Doc as well, but this is the point. Yeah, there's always, like, little loopholes that you can get around to do a bunch of horrible things in this planet, but and believe me, I have my own problems with the justice system all of the time. But it doesn't change the fact that he's sitting here saying, yeah, you know what? No wrongdoing was found, but yeah, I did have inappropriate conversations with a minor. What else is there to say, dude? What else is there to say? Let's continue on to what Todd had to say. Kind of sad how DrDisRespect called DrLupo fake when they've been friends and played Fortnite for so many years back in the days of Chapter 1. Lupo is just doing what any normal person would do if their friend got caught and exposed for a horrible crime. But this is the problem. You always have people saying, like, he didn't even commit a crime. It doesn't matter. Like, he admitted that he has every right to distance himself from somebody. And, like, I would call out somebody, not even just distance themselves. Just call out people that have behavior like this. Like, it's crazy that there are people out there that are looking at this situation and be like, oh my God, people are just abandoning DrDisRespect. There was nothing wrong found in the justice system. Show those messages. It'd be easy. If we saw those messages, we can know whether it's right or wrong. But there's a reason that you guys aren't seeing those messages. And believe me, I'm also one of those people who, whenever there's a situation out there that's, like, serious like this, I'm like, yeah, I don't really believe it. People are upset. People are depressed. And like I said, there was a lot of things that's coming out of the Doc's mouth that makes sense. And there's a lot of points of, like, people just constantly looking for the next outrage of the day. People looking to just take down people that are successful. All of that exists. But the problem is he admitted it. And like we've been saying over and over again, it's very simple. All you have to do is show the messages. I don't know if, and I've seen this floating around a lot, the eliminated by Doctor cheats on wife with minor. I don't know if this is actually somebody that killed him in Fortnite. If that's the case, it's hilarious. I've just seen a lot of people, like, posting this around. If anybody actually, like, knows if that actually happened on stream, please let me know in the comments. If someone has, allegations against them, you are fully in your right to distance yourselves from them. You're not rats for doing so. You're trying to protect your own brand and career. I personally think this is Doctor trying to get some of the limelight after his allegations and horrible responses to it, remove majority of his viewers' attention and respect into the streaming world. He still has a ton of attention. His views are, as far as I've seen, his streams have still been popping. I have very, very mixed thoughts about this, because if it's just allegations against somebody, and you all know, like, with the amount of just allegations that don't really turn out to be much that have been going around the world these days, how would you feel if you were in that situation? Everybody just abandoned you. I'm one of the people that have to wait. Okay, we need the proof. Twitch, let's see those messages. It's that simple for that. But I have absolutely no issue with distancing yourself from somebody who is admitting to messaging kids and then just claiming it to be no big deal. Like, the problem is, this is a very, very different and specific scenario where typically I wouldn't have the viewpoint that I do. I would totally be the people where it's like, okay, we need to hear it from some sort of legal system. We need to hear the messages from Twitch. We need to wait for all of that. But the reason I'm jumping on the gun on this and not even, like, really watching this at all. Like, I don't really care about this. It's just like, yeah, the guy's a piece of crap. He's been talking to kids, and he admitted that they were literally inappropriate. That's why I don't care to wait for any sort of legal system to pipe up, because we already know the answer, and we already know there's a reason why he's not showing those messages, okay? Goomba had this to say: for all you idiots that say that still want to pelt the man, read this community post from Call of Shame and try to tell me that you don't believe it. Okay, so I have seen this, and again, like we were literally just talking about, okay? There are a lot of loopholes in the legal system, and technically, obviously, the guy's not in jail, right? It doesn't change the fact that what he admitted to, it doesn't change that. It really, how can anybody take what DrDisRespect said and go and start defending the guy? Or it's like, oh yeah, Doctor didn't do anything wrong. Maybe it wasn't illegal, but as Nickmercs said, it was probably creepy, and it was probably beyond that, and he probably had worse intentions of that. From what we've heard actually come out of DrDisRespect's mouth is enough for me to go, yeah, no, I'm good, okay? Dude could show the messages if he is legitimately innocent. I'm pretty sure he has them all with more info printed out for all the legal stuff they had to do. Yep. This is the thing, though. Dude, the Twitch team investigated, no wrongdoing. What else do we need to know? If there was no wrongdoing, why can't we see it? Why is it being held from us? Why is it being held from the world? Because I don't imagine that Twitch would want, like, DrDisRespect associated with them, like people watching him go, okay, well, Twitch, you're letting this guy kind of stream. If there's nothing wrong, show us. Show everybody. And he's exactly right. It's that simple. All you have to do, if you're innocent, just show the messages. No big deal, right? Wait, isn't this the guy who literally admitted to messaging inappropriate comments to a minor as 40 years old and a married father? Just checking. Yeah, he said it. He said it, and he's making fun of people and essentially saying, yeah, not a big deal. Not a big deal. These people, they're just obsessed with me. Others, didn't you even listen to him? He lashed out against these two because they know him personally. He invited them at home, met his wife and daughter on many occasions, and vice versa. Mercs felt the need to stay relevant and trash talk Doc again on a podcast. Doc always supported him. What's the point of trash talking Doc over and over, especially by Mercs? Only fakes without a satisfied life outside their fantasy streaming life would do that. That's a big thing to unpack. I don't know, actually, the context of the podcast. I've just seen the clip. I've seen the full clip of Nickmercs and what he said, but I don't know if, like, a question was asked about him or... But Nick, again, he probably does talk about a lot of things that are trending, right? Think about what Nick said. Think about what DrDisRespect said. Would you want him around your family? Would you want him around any kids? Nickmercs is a father. Do you think that Nickmercs is willing to be like, yeah, DrDisRespect, yeah, you've been to home, just because you've been friends with me, you've been to my house before. Yeah, that's okay. Like, that's crazy. That's insane. The whole DrDisRespect situation is very interesting. It seems like he is proving that you can message a minor and still retain your community or make it even stronger. Groundbreaking time for content creators. It just goes to show that the state of the world, man. People are doing worse and worse things and getting away with it. What a shame. A great content creator, the biggest downfall of all time. You had inappropriate conversations with an underage girl, mad because nobody was defending you. Nobody will defend you ever for that. Be thankful you somehow still have people who watch your pathetic ass. Yeah. But he'll always have people, right? There'll always be people that'll believe him. I can't believe him after what he said, man. After just straight up admitting to it. It really is a shame. Because, again, I've been a big fan of the dog for a very, very long time. I always enjoyed watching his streams. I always enjoyed watching his clips. I've been watching him for years. And it's really, really sad to see. But I can't support somebody who did that. If it was just allegations, that'd be one thing. But it's not just allegations. He admitted to his wrongdoing. If you want to see our reaction to the actual full-length video of him roasting Nickmercs and Nickmercs roasting him, the whole DrLupo thing, it's about 10 minutes long. You can check out this video right here. We did an entire reaction to that. I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Take care.